Chapter 10. The Revenant's Gift. Mundus stood in the ruins, his massive frame cloaked in darkness, watching Caleb with a knowing smirk.
"Now go," he said, his deep voice resonating through the shattered stone walls. "Save your friend. Should you ever need me, call upon my name, and I shall appear at your side."
Caleb clenched his fist around the glowing flower, its cold energy pulsing against his skin. He nodded once, before turning on his heel.
"Let's move," he barked, and without another word, he, Will, and Terence sprinted back into the twisted depths of the Frostwing forest.
Branches clawed at them as they ran, their breath coming in ragged gasps. The forest, dense and foreboding, seemed to stretch endlessly before them. The wind howled, whispering through the trees like unseen spirits, warning them of something sinister, lurking just beyond sight. Cerberus and Leonidas waited outside the tent when they finally burst through the clearing, their piercing eyes locked onto Caleb, scanning for any sign of success.
"Did you get it?" Cerberus asked, his deep voice full of urgency.
Caleb didn't waste time with words. He just nodded and rushed inside. The scent of herbs and blood filled the air. Izashi's pale body lay motionless on the cot, his chest wrapped in bloodied bandages. His breathing was shallow, his face unnaturally still. Caleb dropped to his knees beside him and pulled out the flower of Mundus. Its eerie blue glow intensified, illuminating the dimly lit room.
"This better work," Caleb muttered, then gently placed the flower on Izashi's wounds.
A pulse of energy erupted from the flower, sending a shock wave through the tent. Electricity crackled in the air, and suddenly, Izashi's body jerked violently. His veins lit up like lightning, his muscles spasmed, and his back arched off the cot. The glow from the flower spread over him, sinking into his skin, knitting his torn flesh back together. The air hummed with power, and then, boom! A shockwave of blue lightning burst from Izashi's chest, knocking Caleb, Will, and Terence backward. The entire tent shuddered as energy rippled through the ground. Then, silence. The glow faded. Izashi's body went still. For a terrifying moment, nothing happened. Then, a deep breath. His skin, once pale and lifeless, had regained its warmth. His chest rose and fell steadily, his expression peaceful.
Will let out a sharp exhale, rubbing the back of his neck. That was way too close.
Terence smirked, shaking his head. "Remind me never to die again. That was stressful as hell."
Caleb looked at the flower, now shriveled and dull, its energy spent. He glanced at the medic. "Vitals?"
The medic placed her hand on Izashi's wrist, pausing before nodding. "Stable. He'll need a few days of rest, but he's out of danger."
Caleb let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. Relief washed over all of them.
"We fortify this hut," Caleb said, standing up. "No one gets in or out until he's back on his feet. Once he's recovered—"
His blue eyes darkened with determination.
"Then we make our way toward the dwarven kingdom of Doiku."
Will smirked. "A kingdom of blacksmiths and warriors. About time we got some better gear."
Terence cracked his knuckles. "And maybe a drink."
They all chuckled, but in the back of their minds, they knew this was only the beginning. Somewhere deep in the shadows, Antares was watching, and soon he would make his move.